go through the sub-A that is before us this afternoon. Sharon, good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. You did just describe the main points of the bill as you heard it last week, and I'll go through some of the changes, all of the changes, in fact, included in the sub-A before you. For the most part, there's no substantive changes to the authority to toll or the issuance of debt or anything like that. There is the provision of a definition of passenger vehicle on page 7, lines 23 through 25. Some of you had indicated that a definition was needed there, and that has been included.
What is it?
The remainder of the changes start on line 34 of page 10 and run through page 13. And there are 4 different oversight components, and I will take you through one by one. First, there are audit functions that are currently performed by DOT.
Where's the sub-A? I don't have it.
No, it's just
Do not.
the original bill don't have a sub-A.
If everybody has the bill in front of them, I'll go in order that the changes appear in the bill to make it easier to follow. So on page 5, where the changes begin in terms of the oversight functions, you'll see there is I apologize. That's actually page 10. Okay. At the very end of page 10 and following into page 11, there is a requirement that the department follow all proper bridge maintenance techniques, salt mitigation techniques, and certify to you annually that such techniques have been followed. And failure to do so will cause suspension of any new contracts to be awarded. So those are annual reports, and the language appears through line 20 on page 11. The idea, as you heard in testimony, that lack of maintenance is a concern and you want to make sure your investment is protected. This adds an additional oversight measure to ensure that you're able to follow up that those things are being done and that there is a penalty if they are not. The next item in order of the sub-A, page 11, is around reporting. This language is modeled after the current reporting that you require of departments on their operating budgets. There's a quarterly reporting function. It's the reporting function that we often bring to you in meetings in terms of progress agencies are making on their budget. And this item is modeled after that, but it is specific to construction and design contracts, what's being planned to be bid, what is bid, what the planned cost and completion is, and then over time you can follow that progress showing whether things were bid as expected, whether costs came in as expected, and those again will come quarterly. There is a requirement that they also be posted publicly so that anyone may follow that progress. And finally, as part of that reporting, there is a requirement for the number of workers employed through these contracts to be reported, and that it include information on workers who are Rhode Islanders, an issue that came up as well in terms of who would be employed with this ramp up of contracting work. So that is the second item, being additional reporting requirements. Third, there is a provision to ensure conformity with the state's current minority contracting provisions. This requires that anyone submitting a bid under a bid for works authorized here to provide a written plan on how they will conform with that 10% requirement. So it's consistent with current law, but it does require that that positive plan be submitted with the bid. And finally, the rest of the sub-A, starting on page 12, will show you that the audit functions currently being done by DOT will be moved to DOA. And DOA has a Bureau of Audits right now. Those internal folks from DOT would move to DOA. They would now report to DOA and not DOT, and they would be charged with the auditing of those functions, evaluating the efficiency of operations, internal controls, preventing and detecting fraud, waste, and abuse, and all the things that come along with that audit function. So those are the four sort of oversight components, and as I mentioned, the additional change in the definition, adding of a definition for additional clarity around passenger vehicles. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions concerning the sub-A? Representative Giarrusso?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sharon, we got this bill after you started your presentation, but about the cars, we missed that one.
I apologize. That's page 7, lines 23 to 25. There was a question in committee about how passenger cars was defined. This adds language similar to the vehicles that would be told to conform with the FHWA classes. So it just further clarity on what a passenger car is.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Other questions? Representative Morgan?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Sharon, did you get any of the other documents that we had requested?
This is
I know
on,
you sent-
excuse me, Representative, we are here on the substitute A. You have a question on the substitute A?
I asked for
Do you have a
documents,
question
and
on
I
the
wasn't
substitute
provided
A?
all the documents.
You're out of order.
I am not out of order. We're here.
Please,
We're here to
Representative
find
Morgan,
the truth, to
Representative
find
Morgan,
all
we
of
are
the
here on the
information that is
substitute.
related to this
Representative
bill,
Morgan,
sub A
please.
or regular bill.
Representative Morgan, you are out of order.
I am not out of order.
Representative Morgan, I'll ask that your microphone be shut off. You are out of order. We're here on the substitute A. Do you have a question on the substitute A, yes or no?
The people of my district
Do you have a
paid for this
question on the
microphone,
substitute A, yes
and
or
I have
no?
a right to ask questions.
On the substitute A, you've had plenty of time in the hearing to ask questions.
No, I
You've gotten
didn't.
informa-
You cut me off.
Representative Morgan,
I
we
was
were
not
here till
able to
midnight.
finish my
Representative
questioning, and I
Morgan,
have brought that to your
if you're gonna
attention,
shout
as
over me,
well
if
as
you're gonna talk
the
over
fact
me,
that
then
many
would you please
documents
shut
are
your
missing.
microphone off?
Good. Because
Representative
I
Riley?
have a right to all of the information.
Representative Riley, you're out of order, Representative Morgan.
I am not.
You are out of order.
Because you would rather we vote with
Representative
incomplete
Morgan,
information?
you are out of
Is that
order.
it? You have the power?
Representative
so
Riley, you have a
we're
question.
just
Please
supposed
ask your
to,
question.
to vote like
You, Mr.
blind
Chairman,
mice?
Did we receive any further correspondence on the sub-A from any witnesses that have appeared on this bill?
We had a lot of testimony from individuals that had questions in the hearing. Members of this committee had questions on the various definitions. We had questions concerning oversight of DOT. That's what's contained in the substitute A, as Sharon just mentioned. Am I correct in that? On this, as far as the substantial changes concerning
Those are
the
the
oversight,
changes, correct.
and also the definition on passenger vehicle.
But also contained in the sub-A is the original bill, and there were questions on that bill and requests for information were filed. Has the committee received any
There's been
correspondence?
information that's been provided to the committee. You should have gotten a copy of that email.
Okay, thank you.
We did not receive all of the information that we
Representative
requested.
Morgan, you were out of order. Representative
I know.
Cannavale?
You can keep saying that,
Chairman,
but
at
the
this
truth
point
of the
in time,
matter
I'd
is
like to
I
make a
am
motion
not,
to
because
move
I
House Bill
am
7409, Substitute A.
The motion
I am
by-
entitled
there's a-
to the information.
Please, Representative Morgan.
I am entitled to
You
finish
have
my
the information.
questioning of the director.
You have the information. There's a motion made by Representative Cannavale and seconded by Representative Norton, Representative Slater, Representative Serpa, Representative Barrows, Representative Marshall, and Representative Amori, and Representative Abney and Representative Jackott. Roll call vote.
Chairman Gallison? Yes. Representative Norton? Yes. Representative Cannavale?
Yes.
Representative Abney?
Yes.
Representative Maury?
Yes.
Representative Barrows?
Yes.
Representative Giarrusso?
No.
Representative Hearn?
Yes.
Representative Hull?
No.
Representative Jacquard.
Yes.
Representative Marshall.
Yes.
Representative Morgan.
No.
Representative Riley.
No.
Representative Ruggiero.
Yes.
Representative Serpa. Representative Slater.
Yes.
Representative Tanzi.
Yes.
Representative Toban.
Yes.
14 yeas, 4 nays.
Motion carries, and that'll conclude the hearing on this afternoon's bill. Thank you very much.